Gather round, hunters, and welcome back to another episode of Starfleet Command, Orion Pirates Plus. I'm Fleet Admiral Tirek of the heavy battlecruiser Ancient Kings, as we continue our campaign against the Romulan Star Empire, and we have been pounding away at the planet of Romulus, or maybe Remus, we're not quite sure which, as we burst our way through what is left of the Romulan Star Empire. Now, to be fair, they still have 4 planets, all of which are really close to each other, which will be a little bit of a task to take on, but I feel confident that it's something we can do, so let us continue out on our journey into Romulan space to basically make them as unhappy as possible. Popping back over here to the main planet, it continually gives us a homeworld assault, but the planet right next to it also gives us a homeworld assault, so that's why we're not sure which one's Romulus and which one's Remus. It's all a little bit confusing, but we're trying to come through it. We will prep up a wild weasel and a scatterback just in case. You never know what you're going to run into, so you may as well be prepared for the very worst. Get ourselves up to our slow crawl speed, which will allow us to charge all our weapons and prepare the wild weasel all at the same time. It's not particularly quick, although if we set our phaser capacitor down to half, we would actually be at a speed of about 16, which would be very nice. Which would actually be comparable to the battleship that we used to have before we sold it to get this advanced bombardment cruiser, because the battleship, well, was starting to run into situations where it wasn't having quite enough firepower to get through enemy defensive screens, something that this ship doesn't really suffer from. So we are on course. Let us increase our speed up to our combat assault speed, which is around 15 to 18. That allows us to bring out a salvo of missiles, followed up by a much larger salvo of missiles, perfectly spaced, mind you, to prevent any enemy decoys from being able to defeat the entire salvo in one go. So, once we're lined up in a relatively good position, which we pretty much are, we will commence the bombardment. First set of missiles will go out. They will travel out ahead of us. Once they get to a distance of about 5-ish, we will then launch the second set of missiles. But the second set of missiles will not be one of these half MIRV salvos. No, it will be the full MIRV salvo. So this right here is 18 missiles. The full MIRV salvo is 36. So we fire this salvo, wait until we're at a distance of 5, fire the whole salvo, and then also the addition of the 8 maximum damage missiles. So prepare for the MIRV follow-up. Pardon me. And we need to just wait a little bit longer, and then we'll be there, nice and happy. We are within a relatively short range, and I'm going to call it. Fire that. Wait, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Dump it on top of him, and turn away. And full power. We've got to stay outside of his range. If he gets within plasma torpedo range where he thinks he's got a shot and he shoots, he will fire and then immediately cloak. Aha, we got him. So he decided to dump out his wild weasel, which means he will not cloak, because he's kind of foolish like that. And so the first salvo misses entirely because he uses a wild weasel decoy, but by the time the second set of missiles gets to him, it's gorgeous. It's more gorgeous every time. We now have a pirate heavy cruiser. Interesting. So he decided to try and pick the bones of the winner. Unfortunately, we didn't really invest anything to win. So open fire with the first salvo. We're going to do the exact same thing to him. And if he can't cloak, it'll be even easier. He's only got 2 missile launchers and 2 disruptors. That's kind of sad, actually. Let's pick up our speed just a little bit. We could probably beat him with a quick step salvo. The quick step salvo is just the exact same technique where we wait for a distance of 5, except we drop back even further and fire this MIRV rack immediately. It just is a way to get a lot more missiles out into space in a very short period of time. It doesn't have quite the same saturation effect as what we're doing here, but it still will work quite efficiently. Against heavy war destroyers and kind of below, that will probably kill you. Oh, crap, I fired too early. One of the important things about the advanced bombardment cruiser is we have so many missile links that it can become very difficult for the system to handle it. It just can't handle all the missiles that you're putting out. And it happens on top of them, giving them no opportunity to defend themselves. That's the point of it. That's what makes it beautiful. Because normally they would have point defense systems, but they have no defense. By the time the point defense systems wake back up after trying to avoid making the wild weasel useless, it's too late, because gotta stop doing that. So we don't have enough missile links to control everything. Up until the point when the MIRVs pop, when they go on their own independent active links, we can't actually control that many missiles. And so if I fire before the MIRVs pop, unfortunately, we lose out on, well, a decent number of the salvos because each one of those missiles becomes 6 missiles. But I think we've got him here. There we go. The enemy barely got into range. He fired a disruptor. It bounced off our shield. That was about it. The Romulan didn't even get a chance to shoot. That is why we're in this advanced bombardment cruiser, because we have the capability to so easily command the war. Now, there is, of course, a downside. If we run out of ammo, we're in trouble. If we run out of ammo, we're down to 8 phasers, 8 phaser X's, and 8 disruptors. Which sounds like a lot, but disruptors are really terrible. They're designed to long-range plink at people, but the sorts of enemies we normally fight can ignore our disruptors, because the amount of shield reinforcement they bring to the game, they don't care. They're like, oh, that was cute. You got anything else? You got a real salvo? And we unfortunately have to, well, embarrassingly sulk and go away. Nothing on scope as of yet. We're going to increase the speed of time. There they are. We have located the enemy. It is a frigate. So a frigate is a perfect example of someone we can use the quick step salvo against. So we're going to increase our speed up to pretty decent. We can actually fire it, drop back immediately, and it'll be great. It'll be perfectly fine. I'm going to set up a probe just to make sure that we find out exactly what we're dealing with. There could be another enemy ship somewhere off in the distance, and we'd like to know about it before we invest any sort of missile firepower on this frigate at all. Because at the end of the day, we can kill this frigate without using our missiles. I assume. He could be armed with... No, there's really no point. The reason why we're going to use missiles at this point is to just ensure that he doesn't cloak on us, which would be frustrating. Because then we would have to wait until he decloaks, shoot at him, try and poke him out of his cloak. It just gets really annoying at that point. So we're going to try and kill him before he can get a chance to cloak by doing this technique. Now, a quick step salvo would work here. Absolutely, it would work. A heavy war destroyer, we know for a fact, does not survive against a quick step salvo. So a frigate absolutely will not survive. We know this. This is fact. So we're just going to line him up. Although we're pretty much in a perfect position just to do the whole 9 yards. We may as well give him the gift of a beautiful death. There we go. Full power. Pull away. Make sure he doesn't go into cloak. He has no plasma torpedoes, which makes him just incredibly vulnerable. He did fire his phasers, but then he dumped the wild weasel, so now he is vulnerable. We pop over to his view. The missiles miss. They go right for the decoy, and then the rest of the swarm approaches. And because they have been perfectly timed, perfectly set up, they go right on into him. And he's gone. Perfection. That is perfection. Everything about the Marak right there, that is the entirety of what they are. And it's beautiful. And there is a reason why they're my favorite species in this game. There is a reason why my name on this is Tirak. It is Tirak the Mirak. And I am not too proud to admit that. It's a fantastic setup. Just the amount of missiles that you can just lay down on somebody. Alrighty, we've got a light cruiser. And that's it. Okay, against the shipyard defense, we have the USS C. Lewis. She is a drone heavy war destroyer equipped with 4 missile racks, 4 defensive systems, as well as 3 photon torpedoes. Versus an SARX, I don't believe you have a point defense system, and we're about to find out if that's the case. I am not going to prep a wild weasel. I'm going to be bold. I'm going to be dangerous. We're going to attempt to do something incredibly scary, which is take on the enemy without actually preparing for the enemy. I'm actually going to get with the speed already. We're going to sap from our energy budget. Alright, first one. You will die to a stutter step salvo, and we are too close to not try this. So we're going to wait for the quick step salvo. Drop back, let the missiles get out ahead of us. Start to pull away, actually. We can just do that. So 3, 4, 5. We lost lock, but the MIRVs did not. Ooh. See, MIRVs are curious things. Sometimes they will lose locks, but other times they will home right on in on the target until the end of time. So this is going to go right for him. I don't anticipate he'll wild weasel. I think he'll just take the damage. But if he does... Oh, no, he did. Interesting. I can't fire on him without a lock. So there's nothing I can do here. But I'm going to kick up the speed to full power. I want to avoid these guys. I don't want to actually have to fight them. There's a lot of them, and they're dangerous. They will deal a lot of damage if they actually get involved with me. Come out of cloak. You know you want to. You are absolutely dying to do it. There he is. Okay. Let's not be foolish about this. Let's actually set up a proper salvo. And again, we are going to do the quick step. So wait for them to get to a range of 5. Range of 5 achieved. Other set. All missiles. And we're good. The quick step, we don't have to wait for all of our missiles to go out. Ah, no. Come on. The Sea Lewis got too close and activated him. Alright. He's equipped with 2 S-type plasma torpedoes. We can run these guys dry. They don't have the ability to catch us. Their plasma torpedoes are weak and short-ranged. By weak, I mean they still do 20 damage, but they're very short-ranged. That's kind of it. Alright, so let's... Shall we take care of you? Let's take care of you. One for you. One for you. And then you set to one missile. One for you. And one for you. Gifts for everybody. It's just the ease at which we were able to cut through them. Alright, where's this SASX? SABXP. Okay. It's a little bit more dangerous. Alright, so we're going to prep a tractor beam. We're going to come in here, we're going to grab him and... Oh, you're not dead yet. He's trying so hard. But the missile inexorably will reach him. Yes. So we have the Fendere here. And, of course, the Heavy War Destroyer has dumped his fighters, being very dangerous. Gonna come in nice and close. Did we not prepare? We did not prepare the tractor beam. That's important. We're gonna have to prepare the tractor beam, get on top of him, bomb him, tractor beam him, and then unload every single missile that we have into him. Although if he wants to just, you know, decloak, that would make my life a lot easier. He is dead. Like, I don't know if he knows this or not, but he's dead. We've got him. He will be defeated. By virtue of the fact that we will have a lot more missiles than he will. By which he has no missiles. Oh, fine. There. Pull away, pull away. And the tractor beam decided not to activate for reasons. It does this, I do not know why, and it frustrates me to no end. Because it makes doing this just all the more difficult. It's not fun hunting after a cloaked vessel. It isn't. Because you don't have a lot of options, and so when suddenly a system that is supposed to work at decloaking them does not work, it's annoying. Alright, let's prepare an angle right here. Nope, I can't. He's coming to cloak. Missiles. Dump the MRFs. Dump the MRFs on him right now. Oh, never mind. Just dump everything on him. He's dead. Because he can't deploy a wild weasel while he's under my tractor beam. All weapons fire. Got him. That was his mistake. You do not do that. You absolutely do not do that. Because if you try that, that will get you killed every time. Alright, we've got lots of missiles just flying out in random directions, but that's kind of to be expected. Tractor beams are set. And also, is this my point defense button? There is somewhere around here. I forget what the hotkey for this is. We're going to put a point defense anyway. Phasers to normal mode. We don't want to be overloading at this point. And we'll increase the speed time. Missiles will come in, we'll pick them up, and we'll shoot them down. It'll be easy. But now we must batter our way through this defense. Stardogs, unfortunately, are mostly immune to our missiles because they have wild weasels as well as a million tractor beams, and they will use them. We might be able to punch through them if we used MIRVs, but it's just frustrating. Because they're Klingon Stardogs, they won't cloak. We're just going to park right up in front of them and blast them with everything we've got. Unfortunately, we also do have to shoot down these missiles using our normal point defense system. And let's give me a crash stop here. Thank you, just outside of range. Phasers, active, overload. Okay, disruptors. If at any point we knock out his shuttle bay, we will fire a whole bunch of other weapons at him. Just to give it a chance. Let's see what happens. Pop. No, he held them before they popped. That's unfortunate. More phasers. Just weaken him until he's gone. Oh, missiles. Able to shoot them down using our point defense system somewhere. 1, 2, 3, shot the other ones down. Disruptors almost ready, but not quite. Overload. We don't need them. Disruptors, please. Cut through that shield. There we go, cutting through the shield. Slowly but surely increase the speed of time. He's not dead yet, now is he? Point defense system, you can go do your thing. Disruptors are ready again. Hi, the fighters have arrived. Ah, they shot down some of my shielding. Haven't broken it yet, but... like I said, they have a ridiculous number of tractor beams. Cascade failure. What ended up happening there was we ended up firing on him, destroyed or damaged his tractor beam system. It continually lost power, which released a missile, which then had the missile impacted, dealing a whole ton of damage, which broke the tractor beam even more, which caused it to release a missile. And that kind of cascade failure is one of my favorite ways of destroying something in this game. Aside from just absolutely swarming it with 8 million missiles, it is one of the more satisfying ways of doing things. There goes the debris, drifting along. Looks like our friend has decided to come over in this direction to help us out. Maybe he'll actually be useful for once. The AI generally is not. We're going to stay a little bit further away this time. That way we're hoping that our missiles will pop. They did not. Well, some of them did. And then he deployed a wild weasel. Oh, good. We got some hits on them. Knocking him down just a little bit more. Perfect. On to the last Stardock. Take care of everything here. Phaser capacitor is charging. Disruptors are fully ready to go. Missiles are empty except for one magazine of MIRVs. Unfortunately. I'd like to have more MIRVs. Can I get extended magazine MIRV launchers? That would be the dream. B-rack missiles are extended magazine. They have additional shots in them. C-racks are double fire, so they shoot at twice the normal speed. So that's one of the reasons why I default to my C-racks whenever I'm shooting down pseudo-frigates, because that way they can just annihilate small ships quickly, and I don't have to sacrifice firepower in case something happens suddenly that I'm not planning for.
Emergency stop.
Alrighty, let's play some of them. Stunned a couple of systems there. Oh, they popped on top of you. You did not have a chance to defend yourself. And at that point, we are now out of ammo. So it's down just to the energy armament to break him. We've destroyed his shuttle bay, which is excellent. Unfortunately, we don't have any missiles to follow up on the destruction of that shuttle bay. Most of his phasers are offline. We have additional missiles coming in from our friend. Perfect. Stardocks are more difficult to take on than just random ships in the middle of nowhere. They're also more difficult to take on than planets, because while a planet can shoot at you with absurdly heavy weapons, you have ways of just annihilating the planet in a way that they cannot handle. So we'll take on an MET-14 Enigma mission. There will be a random vessel somewhere in the middle of the map. Oh good, this is the easy position to spawn in. The enemy will spawn off over here. The enemy is going to be so insanely locked onto this cruiser that it will ignore us. If you are playing against a plasma race, it will fire all of its plasma torpedoes into this destroyer before you. That's what makes Enigma's super easy missions to run. So we also need to check on the transporter. He does have dilithium crystals, which we may steal. So we're going to get right on that. I'm going to drop the phaser capacitor down so I can get some speed going on here. I want as much speed as I can manage without overtaxing my ship. And there's our enemy. It is a pirate heavy cruiser. Okay. Nothing too serious to be worried about. And we're almost fully charged on our phasers. There we go, fully charged. On to full speed. Our maximum speed with all weapons charged is only 27 instead of the maximum speed limit in this game of 31 for ships, which means it's a little bit difficult to run away from somebody if we have a bad day. You appear to be traveling in my direction. Are you about to call me a liar? We are actually traveling faster than the missile. It's a bit of an amusing problem, actually. We don't normally do this. There's 3 speeds of missiles that you can buy in the Stardocks. There's the slow missiles, which travel at 16. There's the fast medium missiles, which travel at 24. And then there's the fast missiles, which travel at 32. And fast missiles are very expensive. They're also much more difficult to work with. As you can see, he's focusing all his firepower on the Nova Slasher for no reason at all. It's a bit of a waste. Alright, let's pull into a nice little good position to open a fire on him. Distance of 5 achieved. Fire the MIRVs. Stand by, stand by. Fire everything as a follow-up. And full power break off. You, sir, are dead. You just don't realize it yet. He has a point defense system. He's a good one, too. Unfortunately, part of this tactic is designed specifically to deal with point defense systems. By making it, by the time this thing shuts off, it's too late, because it's right on top of you. Literally right on top of you. Although he's destroying most of the good missiles. Oh, we didn't kill him in one salvo. Good job, sir. However, Yeah, you don't have a shuttle bay anymore, which means you don't have the ability to launch Wild Weasels anymore, which means this is your doom. Your point defense system will handle a pretty significant number of these missiles. You have a 4x4 B-rack. But they're gonna get through. There's no stopping that. It is the inevitability of fighting a heavy bombardment cruiser. We're gonna see if we can't stun anything on the way in. I mean, look at all these missiles he's just cutting through. He's doing such a wonderful job. Can you imagine if you did not have MIRVs? You would never get anywhere. Which is one of the reasons why we did not take the battleship we currently have. Well, we used to have. We ditched our battleship specifically because we would not have been able to cut through that. Because it only has 2 MIRVs as opposed to our 6. MIRVs are a massively important force multiplier, especially in the late game. 314 plus 90 for stealing the dilithium crystals, and ooh, the planet's surrounded on 5 of 6 sides. We've almost got it. But anyway, that's going to do it for today's episode. I've been Tirak. If you like what you've been seeing, hit that like button and subscribe. If you want to see a notification every time I list one of these videos, press that little bell icon. Leave a comment. I will see you all in the next episode.